Okay, so what we're doing here is we're testing for power and ground on the wire harness to the fuel pump. It's the wire harness that connects right at the fuel pump. So I went down here and I connected my test light to power and ground. Okay, the ground is this black wire, and the power is on the back side, is the gray wire. So I hooked my test light from the power, I used jumper wires, to the ground. Now I also got my multimeter hooked up to the, let me see, which one's my multimeter hooked up to. So I got here. So I got my multimeter hooked up to the power also. So you'll see this test light come on when we prime it, and when we crank it, that'll tell us we got power and ground. But I'm also checking to see what kind of power we got on the power wire. So here we go. Go ahead and prime it. I'll hold it. She's gonna go ahead and prime it, and we'll get the test light in there also. So the test light comes on. We got about 12 volts. Now we're gonna have her crank it. Good. So as you notice, we had power to the pump based on the test light because it's hooked up to power and ground. And we also had power on the multimeter. We had about 9 volts cranking. So now what I'll do is I'll move my multimeter to the ground and we'll test the ground. Go ahead and hold this if you can. Okay, let me switch this over. Oh, actually, let me make sure. Yep, let me move it over to the ground because this is for the multimeter. Okay. And we'll just jump it on this black one to test the ground. Okay. So here we go again. We'll look at the multimeter. Sorry. Okay. So there's a test light. Go and prime it first. Comes on. Now we're going to crank it. We're going to take a look at the ground. Okay. So it looks like it was 90 milliamps or something like that. So not too much. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause this for now. How do you stop this thing? What we're doing now is we're checking for continuity through the actual fuel pump. We took the wire harness that came with brand new fuel pump, and I'm hooking up to power, the gray wire on the fuel pump wire harness that came with the fuel pump, and the black. And so I'm checking continuity, and there is no continuity. There's OL. So that tells us that is our problem, which is basically no continuity through the motor of the pump. And I can't find a ground to turn the pump on because there's an open in the pump. And so we are hooked up here correctly, just making sure. That's pretty much it. We got no continuity through the pump. Pump is bad. We have to pull the pump out and put another one in. That's it.
Even though it's a new pump.
Even though it's a new pump.
It was purchased 30 days ago.
It's only a month old.
Hasn't even been used yet or even started.
Yep.
With a pump in.
And we also jump power from our little battery pack here to the power, to the gray wire and black wire, power and ground of the pump. It's not even coming on. So we're pretty sure at this point we have a bad pump.